This video is going to be structured a bit differently from my other videos on the Soul franchise, because I don't want to make 3 videos just talking about Dark Souls, because it isn't the channel direction I'm going to, especially not this late into the lifespan of the Soul series, being that it is left to rot now, and From Software is moving on to other stuff. So there's no point in trying to milk something that literally cannot be milked anymore. Anyways, let's get started. I played and defeated Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, and Bloodborne between March and July of 2017, and only got to Dark Souls 3 about a year later, at the start of June 2018. It took me this long mostly because I got the Nintendo Switch and have about 30 games, and none of which I have actually finished besides Breath of the Wild and Hollow Knight, but I didn't even get the true endings yet, so it doesn't count. Since it took me 6 months to finish this game, I vaguely remember the first half. I may be wrong about some things in this video. I don't think I am, though, and I don't think I really mentioned something that I could be wrong about, because I'm not stating something that happens in the game that isn't, like, so general. Anyways, let's stop talking about that. Dark Souls 3 is probably my favorite game in the franchise because the combat just feels so good, and it doesn't really have any bullcrap fights other than Vort, but he's literally a walking status effect. So, I mean, he wasn't hard, he was just an annoying piece of crap. The bosses that did throw me to the ground were the Nameless King and Soul of Cinder, but those are hard because the bosses don't hesitate in any second. I would say I like Bloodborne the most with Dark Souls 1, then 3, then 2, but Bloodborne just has a lot of pure anger-inducing fights that didn't feel rewarding at all. Like the stupid pile of bodies that throw things you can't see at you, as well as Viscera Amelia on New Game Plus, which I already talked about, but my gosh, you have no idea how much of a pain the fight is if you spent the time to grind and max out your weapons. I have a +7 as my most upgraded weapon in Bloodborne on New Game Plus 2. And the boss literally does half my health and then proceeds to heal more than I damage it. Even if I spam attack them before they even start healing, they'll recover more than they lose. Dark Souls 1 is good, but let's be honest here, I don't think having 7 bone wheels in an enclosed room was good game design. I just really liked the bosses of Dark Souls 3 more than the other games, but otherwise, this game is trash compared to Bloodborne. And I still need to do the Bloodborne DLC before I get to Sekiro and make a video on that. Whenever it does come out. I haven't checked when it releases. I'll put it up here right now. That brings me to the other thing I wanted to talk about in this video. Moving forward, From Software has decided to stop making Dark Souls games, like I said, but from the looks of it, that isn't saying there won't be games that the Dark Souls market will enjoy from them. With the void, though, and lack of games that actually hit everything Dark Souls did, there is a gap developing in the market. I'm here to say that for absolutely no reason, because I'm not going to do about it, and no one else is going to do anything about it. The combat has been nailed before, but it doesn't handle it the same way Dark Souls does, because the combat of Dark Souls works with its level design rather than just being added on to the level design. The enemies were specifically placed so you had to be careful where you went, so you didn't get hit in the head, and the atmosphere and the story is kind of hard to do right, because there aren't really words that can describe the Dark Souls atmosphere without being an essay that's really long. And there's a lot to hit on the head that's hard to get perfectly, because a one-for-one copy of the style of one of the games would make it a lesser game, because there wasn't the neat touches here and there that are impossible to replicate, and it still wouldn't even be different enough as well to make way for that. It's hard to nail, but it's something I hope can be done someday, because this is my favorite game franchise of all time, and I don't want to leave the Dark Souls experience on a shelf somewhere. I really don't. It will suck to have to do that. Anyways, thanks for watching me talk about how Dark Souls 3 compares to the other games in the series, as well as a mini tangent about whatever the crap this is. I don't think music in the Souls franchise is enough to actually warrant me saying more than it works well with each area and it's pretty okay. That's all I can say about the music. I'm entirely focused on the gameplay and the adventure of Dark Souls. That's entirely all I cared about. Anyways, that's all I had to say for this video. Thanks for watching. Sorry for not just adding this to the other video, but I wasn't ready to actually do this yet. See you later. Bye.